Julia. When you're in the party, bumping that beat. 666 with a princess streak. I'm everywhere, I'm so Julia. Bumping that, bumping that, bumping that. That city silver sluts, the vibe internationally recognized. I set the tone, it's my design and it's stuck in your mind. Legacy is undefeated.
He said that there's this place down south, all these rich men go to devil worship. He said they sacrifice kids and whatnot. Women and children all got murdered there. And I'm about some place called Carcosa.
Shut the fuck up.
So in the Yellow King, got this brand on his back, like in a spiral.
We found that there was a very disturbing allegation that came out that could be linked potentially to state land. Because I am the manager of that land, I'm the elected steward of that land, what occurs there and what the land is used for is of utmost interest and importance to us at the State Land Office. To our knowledge, there has not been any investigation of the state land or the Zorro Ranch.
Do you have any way of knowing what this land was used for?
From our reading of the historic documents, what it seems like is like the state land was used almost as a buffer, a shield, to hide what activity was occurring on the ranch.
To insulate the ranch.
Absolutely, insulate visibility to what was occurring there.
Are you concerned that this public land might actually be a potential crime scene here? I mean, is that what we're talking about?
Absolutely. If state land was used for criminal activity, that is definitely something New Mexicans need to know. Those are answers that victims and survivors need to have.
What does your authority look like over these lands?
So I had the authority, obviously, to cancel the leases and make sure that any party associated with Jeffrey Epstein was removed from the property. Unfortunately, we do not have law enforcement capability here at the State Land Office. So we are looking to partner with other agencies that do have that capacity to be able to investigate the land.
Do you think there are interested partners out there for you in law enforcement?
Yeah, so we have already started to receive some phone calls from folks who are willing to partner with us.
Is there capability in New Mexico to get the technology that helps you look for these unmarked graves?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's ground penetrating radar. There are what they call cadaver dogs that basically are able to detect whether or not there are burials in the area, yes.
How big is this land when we're talking about it? I mean, is this something that is doable for an investigation?
It is fairly large. It is fairly large. And we don't have, I mean, the only clue we have so far, and again, this goes back to the substantiation of the allegation, it is a phrase that basically says the hills behind Zorro Ranch. Well, the hills behind Zorro Ranch is state land. And so we are looking to probably target and spotlight that particular area to begin with.
You're hoping that the New Mexico DOJ or the federal government is going to get involved, and if not, you plan to work with some state partners to do so.
Correct.
So you feel like this is going to be an investigation one way or another?
I will keep pushing until it is. I mean, that's essentially what I'm saying. I think we have all seen that the reason that we are where we are with this case is that people did not raise the alarm earlier. People did not push earlier, did not ask questions. So now is the time to do that. I mean, it is kind of late, but I think it's better now than not ever.
And Del, the state's commissioner, she told me that she reached out to the state's attorney general in 2019, but nothing was ever investigated. Zorro Ranch has also never been searched. And so there are a lot of questions surrounding what went on in New Mexico.
Are there any names on the list that you can reveal?
Well, Bill Gates is going to be on there. I've talked about him. Leon Black is another one who's been mentioned in the press. Again, when it comes to some of the female individuals, I want to make sure that I'm not revealing the names. We have vetted the list of females one time. I found more names yesterday, so we're going to do a second vetting of those names. The magician, whom everybody knows, is going to be on the list. Jess Staley is another one who's going to be on the list. So some of these names you're going to recognize, but then there are others who worked in the houses, who clearly witnessed things that I'm going to ask to come forward and answer questions.
And have you seen anybody in the? I guess what I'm getting at here with your list, are any of them, Republican allies of the president, or are they all?
There'll be a mix of
Not
Republicans and
allies.
Democrats.
But
I'm going to be equal opportunity about the names on. I'm not going to be.
Sure.
I'm not going to be filtering it for political affiliation.
The country, the world, anybody that has children is not going to move on from this. So I'm afraid that for the political leadership that we have in Washington D.C., this is not going to go away. So the real big picture here that's emerging is that Epstein, not acting alone, was a massive elite intelligence operation to gain control and influence over decision makers across the world, whether it's in the political or business world. But clearly, they got their mission accomplished in a big way, as we are seeing in this sort of daily dropping of these emails, and this more and more people are digging into the weeds of it, and it's disgusting. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. And as I posted on X today, this is an intelligence operation of the worst kind, because it actually uses children, and that's what this is really all about. And so, the sick, disgusting behavior, not just of Jeffrey Epstein, as you show in some of these videos with faces blacked out, and photos of faces blacked out. But this is not just about Epstein. This is not an operation that was being done in isolation. This was an operation that had global proportions, and it touches every single fabric of our society. Never mind the abuse of the children, which nobody's going to get past. So I know the president watches this show and certainly gets feedback from it. Mr. President, you just can't. You can't go by this one. You can't let this, and we're not going to let it go, because it's about children. It's not about a distraction or a hoax. This is about children.
And ignored the Epstein files and called them a hoax. But I'm not willing to do that. I've met with the survivors. This is personal to me now. And so, it's true that my political career is on the line, my political life, but my own health and well-being could very well be too. I've upset a lot of billionaires who obviously aren't of high moral character and have done some really shady stuff.
The Epstein Files playset from Real Rig Series. Oh yeah, sure, they're releasing the real files. Watch as your bureaucrats heroically redact everything important.
We got the truth now.
Black out the names, doctor the evidence, because nothing says transparency like a giant black Sharpie.
The latest revelations from the Epstein files raised some serious questions about the reliability of what the then Prince Andrew said in a BBC Newsnight interview in 2019. We've gone through his replies to find out how they stand up to what we found out since in emails which were apparently sent by and to Andrew. He has previously denied any wrongdoing.
It would be, to some extent, a stretch to say that as it were, we were close friends.
We now know that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and Jeffrey Epstein were in frequent contact with each other. They talked business, they mixed socially, they visited each other. They were close enough for Epstein to set up a dinner date for Andrew, promising that his guest was 26, Russian, clever, beautiful and trustworthy, in an email from August 2010.
Well, I ceased contact with him after I was aware that he was under investigation, and that was later on in 2006. And I wasn't in touch with him again until 2010.
Except here's an email from Andrew to Epstein in 2009. Please, may I stay in your beautiful apartment again? Andrew was asking about using Epstein's place in Paris at a time when he says there was no contact.
He was released in July. Within months, by December of 2010, you went to stay with him at his New York mansion. Why? Why were you staying with a convicted sex offender?
Right. I have always ever since this has happened, and since this has become, as it were, public knowledge that I was there, I've questioned myself as to why did I go, what was I doing, and was it the right thing to do?
But this email was sent as soon as Epstein's sentence was over in July 2010, saying congratulations, as he'd found out you were allowed out from yesterday. While in New York, this picture was taken of the pair walking in a park. Andrew gave an account of their conversation, where their connection was said to have been severed.
Look, because of what has happened, I don't think it is appropriate that we should remain in contact. And by mutual agreement during that walk in the park, we decided that we would part company, and I left, I think it was the next day. And to this day, I never had any contact with him from that day forward.
But contact showed no signs of stopping. Soon after, Andrew was back in the UK. It was great to spend time with my US family. Looking forward to joining you all again soon, he told Epstein. I'll call you tomorrow, as I'm moving the family up to Sandringham during the day. The no contact had evaporated. Andrew went on to say Epstein had been understanding about the end of their relationship, with Andrew insisting that with all the attendant scrutiny on me, it was over. But months later, they were still sending friendly emails to each other, with Andrew in February 2011 promising Epstein, "We'll play some more soon." The interview turned to Virginia Roberts, whose later married name was Virginia Giuffre, and who became Andrew's most prominent accuser before her death in 2025.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
Behind the scenes, there were emails back and forth about her claims. That included preparing a statement for Ghislaine Maxwell to explain her position, including a contribution from Amanda Thirsk, Andrew's private secretary and close advisor. Her proposal was to reject Virginia's claims about being trafficked for sex with Andrew as completely untrue, but she suggested that Maxwell said, "The only time I recall the meeting was at my home in 2001 in London. You have published a photo. They did not have sex. They may have met up again in New York, but I categorically state that Prince Andrew did not grope, nor did they have sex. There was no orgy in Little St. James." It rejected any wrongdoing, but it accepted that they had met in London and possibly New York, and the photo of Giuffre and Andrew together was authentic. There was an explanation that he was in Woking at Pizza Express, and more doubt was cast on the photo.
You've seen the photo?
I've seen the photograph.
How do you explain that?
I can't. Because I have absolutely no memory of that photograph ever being taken.
But an email from Ghislaine Maxwell again appears to confirm that there was a meeting with Giuffre that evening at Maxwell's London house, and that the photo was taken there. In a draft statement she sent to Jeffrey Epstein in 2015, she wrote, "In 2001, I was in London when met a number of friends of mine, including Prince Andrew. A photograph was taken, as I imagine she wanted to show it to friends and family. It doesn't seem to dispute the photo or the meeting." There have been more recent calls for Andrew to testify about what he knew, and Emily Maitlis put that question to him.
Would you be willing to testify or give a statement under oath if you were asked?
Well, I'm like everybody else, and I would have to take all the legal advice that there was before I was to do that sort of thing. But if push came to shove and the legal advice was to do so, then I would be duty-bound to do so.
Among the significant findings of the released emails is how hard the US authorities tried to get Andrew to testify, with no sign of him or his lawyers being willing. The US authorities concluded in an email from 2020 that efforts to obtain a truly voluntary interview have been exhausted. They then began a formal process of trying to compel Andrew to give evidence. More than 6 years after the Newsnight interview, there is still no sign of him planning to share what he knows about Epstein. Emily Maitlis gave him one more chance to make an apology.
I wonder if you have any sense now of guilt, regret, or shame about any of your behaviour and your friendship with Epstein?
As far as Mr. Epstein is concerned, it was the wrong decision to go and see him in 2010.
He talked about some seriously beneficial outcomes from their relationship.
Was I right in having him as a friend? At the time, and bearing in mind this was some years before he was accused of being a sex offender, I don't think there was anything wrong then. The problem was the fact that once he had been convicted,
You stayed with him.
I stayed with him.
From the released files, the emails indicate that Epstein's conviction wasn't any problem for Andrew. As we've seen, his response at the end of Epstein's sentence was congratulations, and their personal, social and business connection had shown no signs of stopping. We have contacted Andrew Mountbatten Windsor for comment. He's previously denied any wrongdoing.
The ones at the top, they've gotten away with so much crime, so much evil, so much wickedness that they feel invincible. They feel that they can keep on doing what they are doing without any true justice brought upon them. That's how they feel. They've gotten away with too much. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter and the 11th verse. It says, when a crime is not punished quickly, people feel it is safe to do wrong. That's what it is. The crimes, they are crimes against humanity, against children, against everybody. There's no punishment for all those crimes. So now they feel like they can keep on doing what they're doing without any real true justice. And it's a clown show right now, looking at the world stage and how we all know what they've been doing. It's all out there, what they've been involved in, but nothing is being done about it. So they feel totally invincible, that, they're above the law, so to speak. Before we go any further, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ruchaha Kodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom to all you brothers and sisters out there that are of the household of faith, beginning with 144,000 down to the men, women, and children that are allotted to be delivered in these latter days, who are all of the elect, and to the brothers that are pushing this gospel in all sincerity and in all honesty. To you all I say shalom, which means peace to you. Right, let's read this again in the book of Ecclesiastes, because this is in the NLT, by the way. It really breaks it all down, what we are looking at right now. It says, when a crime is not punished quickly, because when you do a crime, it's supposed to be punished right away. As long as you're found guilty of that crime, it's supposed to be punished right away. Not all this, you appeal and reappeal and all that craziness. If you're guilty of the crime, you're supposed to be punished, no matter your status. Even if you're a president, you're a ruler, a leader, whoever the hell you are, you're supposed to be punished for your crimes. You see? So now we're looking at the crimes that are being committed against humanity. There's no real justice being brought upon the perpetrators. What happens? Well, they feel safe to do wrong. They feel safe to continue in their wickedness. They feel safe to continue doing evil. Because they're like, who's going to lay anything to our charge? Who's going to bring us up on charges? Right? That's how they feel. They feel invincible. And you see the way they're moving right now. Right? Now we are the ones having to push for something to be done about these things, to the point where they're telling you that if the crimes of these individuals are thoroughly punished, the whole system will collapse. It's to let you know how much your rulers are involved in all of this. The rulers, the leaders, the ones that are supposed to be protecting us from harm and wrongdoings and all of that. They are the ones doing all the harms and wrongdoings to children, to people that cannot protect themselves. You see? It goes on. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, still in the same book. the 10th chapter and the 5th verse. It says, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. You see that? So this is an error we're seeing that is proceeding from the rulers. What is that error? Well, they are pedophiles, child molesters, women trafficking, right? They're into torturing people and making videos about it and sending emails to one another how they enjoy that. You know, coming up with elaborate ways to molest children. They even have doctors telling them the best possible ways to molest children, to have them sucking on your PP. It's all there. And then they eat the intestine with their semen still in there. So these are the errors that proceed from your rulers, from the rulers, the people that run the one percenters, so to speak. This is what they get into. This is how they live their lives, in total depravity. This is some bullshit, man. Really. And nothing is being done about this. No true justice is being done. They tell you to look the other way. Yo, look at the Dow. Look at this. Look at that. And we're not going to forget about the what you've been doing. Just like General Flynn was talking about. I'll put the clips. You'll see him. He said that we won't forget about children being molested. And he is Trump's, he's in the Trump cabinet, so to speak. He's part of his team. So he's saying, because Trump said we should forget it and move on, we cannot move on from this. Move on to what? Move on to what? So that's that error that proceeded from the ruler. This is the book of Proverbs, the 28th chapter and the 15th verse. It says, as a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. You catch that? So this is how they are. What does a roaring lion do? Well, it's looking to devour, tear apart, eat, consume. Same goes with a raging bear. And that's what the rulers have been doing. They've been torturing, consuming, eating the poor people. The regular, every average Joe out there, you fall victim to this. You, your children, from this roaring lion of a rulers, wicked rulers, so to speak. And a raging bear. So he's a wicked ruler over the people. And we've seen that manifest in real time. That they have no regard for human life, whether young, old, they do not care. They would totally destroy everything in their path just so they can have fun, just so they can pleasure themselves. To the point where you would eat babies, you would eat human flesh, consume human flesh. You have to be out of your mind, man. And then try to make us accomplices to all of these things by revealing it, and nothing is being done. So that means you're okay with it. Not only that, they put this human meat in fast food joint. Listen to the Finkelstein, Rabbi Finkelstein, talking about that. How they grind them up and put it in your burgers and your hot dogs and sausages. So you're consuming humans just like them, and they're happy about it, even though they did it in a tricky way to get you to consume these things. But they're like, oh, we're not the only ones doing it, you're doing it too. That's how they think. That's how the wicked rulers think. They're out of their minds, man. He goes on to say, the prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. Right? Now he's coming out of the Prince Andrew is all into this. And he's nothing but a great oppressor. All him and all his cohorts. So your rulers are totally jacked up. They lack real understanding. They do not have real understanding. They lack that. They do not have it. Because if they had understanding, they wouldn't be running this circus of a clown show that we are in right now. They wouldn't be running the world like it's a circus. Like it's a clown show. a man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. So if you kill somebody, children or anybody, you deserve to be killed also. So flee to the pit. What is that? The grave. You know, you're supposed to be held accountable for your actions. And we're not seeing that happening right now, are we? No, we're not. Let's close out with this in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 10th chapter. It says, a judge will instruct his people. A wise judge will instruct his people. But the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And we are seeing that this government right now is not prudent. Because they're all over the damn place. They're not well ordered. They're not doing things righteously. Of course not. It's all messed up, all fucked up, man. Excuse my French. See? So to let you know that your rulers are not wise. No way, shape, or form are they wise. Nah. To tell you to move on from something this heinous. It's not about left and right, man. You should wake up. Wake the hell up. They're all one and the same. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such as all they that dwell therein. So as a judge is, so as the people themselves. So we're seeing that kind of lifestyle, this depraved lifestyle being pushed throughout everywhere, all around, because your rulers, this is the way they are, and they want you to be like that also. So it's another reason they're releasing all these things, to put it all out there, like, yeah, this is what we're all about. So what? Come over and join us. Join us over here. It goes on to say, an unwise king destroyeth his people. An unwise king destroyeth his people. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be well ordered. So it's letting you know that an unwise king destroys his people. And we're seeing that happening right now. As a matter of fact, it's been happening for a long time. See, that's why it goes on to say here in the 3rd verse, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. So the rulership of the wicked, this unwise rulers, have to come to an end. So the Heavenly Father can put in his only begotten Son, which will be profitable to the earth, where you wouldn't be worried about your children being trafficked and all this craziness being happening to them. See? Has to come to an end. Jumping down to the 8th verse. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So there has to be that paradigm shift, a shift in rulership. The wicked elites will no longer continue ruling the way they are, because they are unfit to rule, evidently so. And with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rechahakodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.